Welcome to IMTS. My name is Kathy Webster, and you're watching IMTS TV. There is a lot to see at the show, and a lot of people ask, where should I start? Here are 2 tips to help you navigate IMTS. Number 1, welcome to IMTS. My name is Kathy Webster, and you're watching IMTS TV. There is a lot to see at the show, and a lot of people ask, where should I start? Here are 2 tips to help you navigate IMTS. Number 1, know that IMTS is spread across 4 buildings, north, south, east, and west, all under one roof and linked by the Grand Concourse. Number 2, we group technologies into 10 categories called pavilions. The 10 pavilions help visitors compare similar technologies, products, and services. The East Building houses 4 pavilions, and our partner Hanover Messe's 4 co-located shows on 2 levels. Level 2, open from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. On Level 3, open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The East Building houses a restaurant, a beer garden, and the IMTS store, where we'll be giving away an exclusive item from 1 to 4:30 p.m. while supplies last. The West Building houses the Additive Manufacturing Pavilion, the Tooling and Work Holding Pavilion, and AMT's Emerging Technology Center, focused on additive manufacturing. West Level 3 is open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., and the West Level 3 Annex is open 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. The North Building, open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., houses fabricating and lasers, gear generation, abrasive machining and sawing, and several special attractions. AMT's Emerging Technology Center focused on digital transformation, GIE Media's Today's Technology Center, Modern Machine Shop's Top Shops booth, SME's Smart Manufacturing Hub, and the Smart for Students Summit, located on Level 1. And finally, the South Building, open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., is home to the Metal Cutting Pavilion. For a full list of building hours, visit the About the Show tab on IMTS.com. And remember, download the IMTS mobile app to access your My Show planner, to find exhibitors, make your itinerary, and navigate from one exhibitor to another. Have some tips? Share yours with us using the hashtag IMTS2018. And now it's time to wake up with our IMTS TV host, Emily Barta, as Good Morning IMTS starts right now.
Wake up IMTS. It's Thursday, September 13th, 2018. And this is Good Morning IMTS. And now, live from the IMTS TV studio in Chicago, Illinois, here's your host, Emily Barta.
Good morning and welcome to day 4 of IMTS 2018, where dreamers and doers connect. I'm your host, Emily Barta, and this is Good Morning IMTS. Have you heard the news? There are so many records being set at IMTS 2018. Things have been really good since IMTS 2016, and the future of manufacturing looks very bright as well. I'm sitting here with Doug Woods, who is the president of the Association for Manufacturing Technology, to talk to us more about it. So Doug, how has the industry changed in the past 2 years?
It's been really kind of amazing watching what's happening, largely I think because of all the new technologies that are coming out. IMTS in 2016 was a great show. We thought almost the pinnacle of what you could get, and obviously we're seeing things even a little bit more exciting, a little different here. But I think the big change in what people are actually coming out to IMTS 2018, to see is that transformational technologies, the things that you're reading about in the newspaper, seeing on TV, reading about in the magazines, artificial intelligence, machine learning, things that are going on with augmented reality, additive manufacturing, some of the hybrid manufacturing. There's so many new technologies, and people are really trying to figure out, okay, I was listening to people talk about them in presentations back in 2016, and now I'm starting to see them actually in products, actually in services, actually things I can implement into my facilities. And so a lot of people, and I think it's one of the reasons that we have so many more people coming out in IMTS 2018, they want to see practical applications of how we now use these new technologies. It's really quite exciting. And I think as we go forward from this point, you're going to continue to see these technologies embedded in new products that you'll see exhibitors implementing in new and creative ways. It's really great.
Well, one of the things I find interesting about these new technologies that we've been talking about throughout the years at IMTS, but they're not just within the industry anymore. They're out in the public. You know, the average person walking down the street knows what 3D printing is. How exciting is that it's not just internal within the industry, but it's external to the public as well?
That is one of the things that I think is, for me, most interesting. So having been in manufacturing my entire life, we talk about, you know, AMT, manufacturing technology. It's now where manufacturers have always been steeped and integrated in working with manufacturing technologies and integrating technologies into their products. What's really different now is the people who are the technology providers, like let's use the term kind of the folks from Silicon Valley with the really neat, really cool technologies, they're all of a sudden interested in putting their technology into manufacturing. So we've always thought we were doing a lot with technologies running manufacturing companies, and we were every decade. But what you really see now is companies that were mostly focused on software or high-end technology trying to figure out how do we integrate our technology into manufacturing. And that's actually created an entire new spectrum of folks that are contributing to the innovation. It's almost like we have a new incubation lab for creating cool manufacturing technology, bringing the best of the computer science, electronics, and software world into the manufacturing world that we were in, creating a really strong set of new products that from a productivity standpoint and from an effective use of being able to build out the next generation products, it happens more seamless, more quickly, and more efficiently now, leveraging that combined strength. It's really quite cool.
Well, how has that combined strength and this inclusion of more of these quote-unquote Silicon Valley companies changed the expo floor at IMTS?
Well, even if you start to take a look at having the two ETs, so we have two emerging technology centers. So you look at new technologies coming in, you look at how do we fit all these in. So you have Cisco that's participating at our emerging technology center that we have, where we have the digital thread being displayed. Everything from digitizing the beginning of the process from design right through the end of the process and all the production steps in between. If you go over to the additive manufacturing ETC, Emerging Technology Center, you see a company like Hewlett-Packard. So if you dial back 10 years, 15 years, maybe not that long, dial back just a few years, you wouldn't typically see Hewlett-Packard in an additive pavilion. You wouldn't typically see Cisco, you know, in part of our digital thread for manufacturing. And I think that's part of what you're starting to see is that some of these newer technology companies integrating and complementing and collaborating with some of our manufacturers in these new solutions. And then as you go around the factory floor, you start to see some of those things being integrated into multiple different product lines. And there's examples of that all the way through of companies you wouldn't typically expect to be in, you know, GE, you know, making additive equipment, HP making additive equipment, you know, folks, you know, like Google even getting involved in making cars, being a new manufacturer. So the landscape of who was a manufacturer and who was in manufacturing technology is different, largely because of the leveraging and utilization of these new technologies, bringing the two groups together.
Well, how does that change the perception of what manufacturing is all about? Because, you know, people out in the general public, they might have an idea of what they think manufacturing is, but what is manufacturing really? How does this inclusion change that perspective?
I think one of the biggest things that affected how people see things in manufacturing is what's happened with the additive manufacturing movement. Additive has been around since the 80s, but what's happened with the acceleration of lower cost additive manufacturing solutions is you had an entire movement, the maker movement, getting involved with manufacturing. And They were doing it because it was easy, it was seamless. You could digitally capture, an image and turn that image into a file. The file could be sent to a low-cost printer, and you could make things that you were envisioning. And so a lot of people became engineers or became manufacturers because they just wanted to evolve and use the technology. That maker movement, which is probably 500,000 or 600,000 people strong, became a new generation of manufacturers that then started getting involved in other aspects of our industry, and now become the engineers, now become the applications folks, now become the folks that are developing the new technologies. And so these technologies are starting to draw people that weren't necessarily aligned when they started thinking, what's my career going to be? Do I pick manufacturing, do I not? All of a sudden, this technology stripe that's running through all of manufacturing are things that kids from all different disciplines can go, well, that's cool, that's interesting, I want to do that, I want to create a product, I want to be involved with generative design, dreaming up something new, or I want to be leveraging augmented reality to create new tools. And that makes it interesting, and it's also driving what's happening with manufacturing. So both exciting for the new folks getting in and leveraging that technology to propel productivity for the existing users of the technology.
Well, we have a problem with the skills gap. Is this inclusion of technology helping solve that problem?
That is one of the bigger problems that we have overall, and so there's just this issue. We have a lot of folks that are aging with a lot of talent. They're going to be retiring soon from the industry, and getting enough new people to come into it, especially when things are going as well as they are and you're at near full employment. So it really does become a big issue, and yes, it does start to solve it, because now people that might not have thought about this being a career option now totally find it interesting, and you can see that actually with the Student Summit. The Student Summit is unbelievable. When you think about, we've got 20,000 students and educators coming here to see 80 exhibits in the Student Summit of what's happening with technology and what you could do with all these new technologies, and it's hands-on. There's experience labs, there's things about what's happening with smart manufacturing, and so to see the kids down there really excited about using the technology, doing the demonstrations, going to the learning labs, that's phenomenal, because it wasn't that long ago that I can remember, and I've been coming to the show since 1978 for quite some time, but it wasn't that long ago where a lot of the exhibitors really didn't want to have the students up on the up on the floor, because they wanted to be there to sell, and the kids would be taking up the time. Now it's turned 180 degrees, where you actually have the exhibitors who have a lot of money in their booths are actually duplicating some of that in a cool, neat way, so the students can see how the technology can be leveraged in another area. So they're actually spending more to create new opportunities, and actually excited about having the kids here, because that is the next generation of manufacturing. Those bright young kids that go, this is cool, this is neat, I want to try it. Whether you're building a robot, whether you're leveraging augmented reality, whether you're doing your own programming script in R or Python and driving new apps, these kids that are excited doing these things, they're the next generation of manufacturers. And so that's part of the solution. If you can kind of inoculate some of these guys with a little bit of the coolness of what's happening, and they keep on going down that path, those are the folks that are going to start driving manufacturing in the future.
Well, what about the international component of the show? It is the International Manufacturing Technology Show, but it's based in Chicago, which is in the U.S. How has that grown through the years?
Yeah, it's amazing to me when I actually think about, and when they tell me the number, because I always ask, like, how many countries, what's going on? And when I hear the number, and I'm like, are you really sure? Is it really that many? We have 117 countries, different countries of attendees and visitors coming here. And so when you think about that, it's really impressive that people see IMTS is one of those main international events that they need to come to from those 117 different countries to see the newest technology, to see how it's being implemented, to learn about how to leverage it. So it wasn't that long ago where, to your point, was it a regional show? And sure, there's some regionality to it, because in the Chicago area, you have a huge part of the manufacturing infrastructure, and a short flight and a short drive, you can get a lot of people. But obviously covers the entire United States, and with 117 countries, you're pretty much covering the globe of people that care about manufacturing technology. You have to come to IMTS, and it's clear by our numbers, they're coming to IMTS.
So what do you think is going to happen on Sunday? The show closes on Saturday. On Sunday, what do you think everyone's going to do that has been here?
Well, I don't know about all the people that are here, but I know all my staff want to go take a long nap after a really great show and a lot of work. But no, I think what ends up happening, and what I really hope happens for all the folks that came here to visit, is they really start to sift down and think about all the things that they saw and put them into some structured order. So you can see a lot of cool things, you'll see a lot of neat things, but what we really want to do is have the attendees have a great post-show experience. We want them to be able to leverage in priority, kind of build their own, digital strategy going forward or manufacturing strategy, and which things that they saw are the highest priority to affect their business, to create change, because our goal is to have the attendees walk away with solutions that are going to change their business. And for the exhibitors, we're hoping they can go and start prioritizing all the people they met, all of the cool opportunities, all of the ways they can leverage their technology to support an attendee building their business. And so to the extent that they can kind of take a breath, kind of relax and regroup, but immediately go, I want to now leverage everything I saw, everything I learned to change the dynamic of my business, I think that's where we all win from this, because everything is here, all the neat tools, all the creative opportunities, it's really then putting it into practice.
Well, and there's so much excitement here at IMTS 2018. I mean, there's crowds of people, there are revolutionary new technologies, there are things that were merely ideas a few years ago that are put into practice right now. There are all of these students. There is just so much excitement in the air. And I hope I can say IMTS 2018 has been a major success. So, how has the success of this past week going to propel the manufacturing technology industry forward over the next few months?
I think when you can put out the positive news of actually what's happening with the numbers, so when you have the biggest IMTS ever, when you have the most people, the most exhibitors, when the most international visitors, when you look at all of those, I think what it does is create kind of confidence in people's mind that it really is a strong time in the marketplace, that there are great solutions, that you can use these tools to drive productivity. And that confidence that people have, drives a bit of the economy. So you like people being positive, you like them looking at reinvesting in new capital, you like to see them driving new solutions, you like to see them trying new things. And so I think as all of those pieces come together and people kind of absorb kind of the positive nature and the confidence that they saw walking around the show, I think it'll drive them to do really neat things. And as they do those things, they themselves, just by those actions, are continuing to propel the manufacturing economy here and in other places around the world forward, which is great for all of us.
Well, we are looking forward into the future, so far forward that we're talking about IMTS 2020 already before IMTS 2018 has even closed. Why should we mark our calendars now?
Yeah, you have to mark your calendars. I mean, Peter Uhlman and his staff, the whole team at AMT that works on IMTS, they're phenomenal. So literally the day after 2018 IMTS closes, they are thinking about what cool, neat ideas. So what will the next emerging technology center be? What technology is going to be at the edge to show? What things, if Ollie's not going to run back and forth between the different halls, what the new thing is that we're going to put out there? How do we start to create the environment, the technology, the learning labs, the conferences, expanding the student summit? It's everything, a clean sheet of paper, and what are the neatest, coolest things that we can create that will make 2020 and even more exciting, even more interesting, even more vibrant to go to. And that team, my team, is awesome at coming out with the next great thing. And it always is something new. You never come to an IMTS and go, it's the same thing it was last year. That never happens. This team comes up with phenomenal things.
So if you want to stay on top of the next great thing, you need to be here at IMTS 2018. If you're not here this year, be sure to check out content on IMTS TV, which is streaming 24 hours a day on IMTS.tv. And for more information about anything regarding IMTS, be sure to visit IMTS.com. That was Doug Woods, who is the president of AMT, the Association for Manufacturing Technology. The Tech Spotlight is a look at new products, innovative technologies, and emerging trends in the manufacturing industry found at IMTS 2018. In today's episode, Hannah Combs talks to us about the Modern Machine Shop's Top Shops booth.
I'm Hannah Coombs with IMTS TV, and I'm here with Travis Egan, group publisher of Modern Machine Shop, in the Modern Machine Shop booth at the entrance of the North Hall. Travis, there's a strong presence of Top Shops here. Tell us a little bit about what it is and what visitors can expect to see here at the booth.
Sure. So Top Shop started as a benchmarking program for shops to compare themselves against their peers, ultimately to be more competitive. It started about 8 years ago just as a benchmarking program, but it's evolved. Over the years, we've extended it to be the focus of one issue of Modern Machine Shop every year, our Top Shops issue, which is in September, where we go over all of the things that we learn from that Top Shops benchmarking program. For instance, Top Shops, the top 20% of job shops, they sell about 88% more per machine in parts. So they learn different things about their business, ways to grow, ways to be more competitive. The way the Top Shops program is broken down, it's in really 4 different pillars. So it's in machining technology, shop floor best practices, business strategy, and then human resources. So it's really unique in that Modern Machine Shop has traditionally talked about product and process technologies, but Top Shops extends into sort of the front end of that manufacturing business. So it expands through the entire machining business from the shop all the way to the front end of the business. Additionally, it's grown over the years to include a conference, the Top Shops Conference, which we have on an annual basis, where shops can come together and network and learn from one another.
And you talk a little bit about benchmarking and becoming more competitive in the industry. Why is that important for manufacturers, and why is that something that people should be on the lookout for here at IMTS?
Well, it's really incumbent upon these shops to find ways to be more productive, to find ways to do things differently, and to learn from one another. You know, some people are really good at making parts, some people are really good at promoting their business, some people have better human resources programs. If you can learn from each other and pull, different elements together, as a business you can become stronger. And the U.S. manufacturers need to continue to be more and more competitive, and a program like Top Shops really gives them an edge.
I'm Hannah Coombs with IMTS TV, and we're here with Group Publisher of Modern Machine Shop, Travis Egan. I'm here with Rick Klein Sr., Chairman of Gardner Business Media, and also with Rick Klein Jr., the President of Gardner Business Media. We're here in the Modern Machine Shop booth at the front entrance of the North Hall. Rick, tell us a little bit about the history of Gardner and the relationship to Modern Machine Shop.
All right, my grandfather, Don Gardner, Rick's great-grandfather, started Gardner Publications in June of 1928, about a year before the Great Depression. And he had an idea with a guy named Howard Campbell as his editor. He had an idea of creating a magazine that would tell people in manufacturing how to do jobs more productively, more efficiently, and lower their costs and build better quality products. That is the same mission we have today. And we obviously the technology is different. Back then they were talking about things like bearings and belts on machines, but today we talk about new transformative technologies and how they're going to affect our audience in the future.
And we're here celebrating the 90th anniversary of Modern Machine Shop. What does that legacy mean to the manufacturing industry, and what role does Modern Machine Shop have in the manufacturing industry?
Well, here at the show we have all the covers of all the issues from June of 1928 on. It's over 1,000 covers, and they are sort of a history of what we did as a publishing company, and of course now we call ourselves a media company because we're not just talking about print, we're talking about digital and new technologies and new ways of providing information to our audience.
Absolutely. And Rick, that brings me to talking about the future. What does the future of Modern Machine Shop look like?
So the future of Modern Machine Shop it's difficult really to predict. Media is in the transformation right now too, and as a result we produce websites, e-newsletters, magazines, events. We want to have an opportunity for people in manufacturing to interface with our content in any manner that they find useful and helpful.
And we're celebrating that idea of forward-looking and the future of manufacturing with a few media campaigns and digital media campaigns here today at the booth. Tell us a little bit about that.
So with our CNC The Future campaign, it's a social media campaign in Instagram and Twitter, and we're asking people to come by our booth or to take pictures around the show and add the hashtag CNC The Future. We think this is a great way to reach out to some of the younger people in manufacturing, as well as get all people in manufacturing interested in engaging in as many ways as possible with the future.
I'm Hannah Coombs with IMTS TV, and we're with Rick Klein Sr. and Rick Klein Jr. from Gardner Business Media.
Hello there. Welcome to IMTS 2018. Did you know that there are practical learning sessions happening here at McCormick Place specifically for job shops? The first one is called Uncopyable, creating an unfair advantage over the competition. Bill, tell us more.
Well, this is a cool thing. We spend so much time on the technical side, the product technical side of our exhibitors. Here's a track that focuses more on what business owners can do to differentiate themselves, how they can market themselves a little bit differently, how they can present themselves in a way that forms an unbreakable bond with their customer.
And the second practical learning session specific for job shops is called The Unending Search for Qualified Leads. What's this about?
One of the biggest things we talk about all the time, the 300,000 person gap in the workforce. This too goes into culture a little bit. How can you create a workplace that is so good and so unique that people don't want to leave? It's not just about the money. They want to be part of something so unique that you've created that they're not going to leave you for the competition.
So we'll see you at these two practical learning sessions specific for job shops. Both are located in the West Building, room 181. On tap for today are numerous activities and events happening throughout McCormick Place. At 9:30 a.m. on the main stage in the Grand Concourse, Mike Molnar from the Advanced Manufacturing National Program Office and Carolyn Nowinski-Collins from UI Labs will discuss Manufacturing USA, enabling the digital revolution. And at 12 noon on the main stage in the Grand Concourse, Making Chips will do a podcast on what keeps you awake at night, 4 hot topics that will help you snooze better. Today's theme at the Hanover Messa Solutions Theater is Innovations Day. This day's worth of sessions will focus on the digital transformations of mobility and transportation. So if you would like to find out the future business models in this emerging ecosystem of mobility, visit the Hanover Messa Solutions Theater on level 2 of the East Building, right in the middle of the expo floor in booth 121847. Today is the last day of the largest and longest running conference here at IMTS 2018. It's the IMTS Conference. Session topics today include 3D printing, smart manufacturing and changing global supply chains, lightweight engineering and work holding, choosing part optimization strategies, Industry 5.0, the human touch revolution, and maximizing manufacturing productivity in the information age. If you would like to attend any of these sessions on the last day of the IMTS conference, they can be found in the West Hall in rooms 192, 193, and 194, A, B, and C. The Digital Transformation Conference is here. This conference, presented by Women in Big Data, will benefit those on the shop floor to the enterprise, so that they can learn tips and tricks on understanding the value of data and how it can drive competitive advantage and enable them to make better decisions. The Digital Transformation Conference happens today from 2 until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It is free to all registered IMTS attendees and takes place in the South Building, room S401. The OPC Foundation Conference brings together OT and IT to report about standardized secure interoperability for data and information exchange for sensor to IT and the cloud. Sessions start today at 8:45 a.m. and conclude at 3:30 p.m. in room W196A in the West Building. Modern Machine Shops invites you to celebrate their 90th anniversary. Stop by the Top Shops booth, which is number 236600 in the lobby of the North Building, to tell your story and to add your photos to a one-of-a-kind photo mosaic. Plus, you can travel through time by walking through an exhibit of 90 years of magazine covers. In addition, the Top Shops Workshop is where leading shops of all shapes, sizes, and specialties connect to celebrate their contribution to the manufacturing community and to learn about the tools and the technologies that will help them continue to lead and succeed. What makes the Top Shops Workshop unique is that it is an event for Top Shops by Top Shops. So be sure to check out the Top Shops Workshop today in room W375C, which is located in the West Building. If you would like information on these or any attractions found at IMTS 2018, just be sure to visit IMTS.com. IMTS Shorts are a short look into tips and tools that you can use to guide you through the expo floors and enhance your experience at IMTS 2018. In today's episode, Katie Carey talks to us about My Show Planner.
Make the most of your time at IMTS by using our online planning tool, My Show Planner. With My Show Planner, you can schedule meetings, share your agenda with colleagues, and develop an itinerary to visit your must-see booths and special events. You can navigate via your phone on the IMTS mobile app, or you can print out a map ahead of time. Printing is not available on site. My Show kiosks are located throughout the exhibit halls and the Grand Concourse so you can quickly look up a company or product. Setting up your planner is quick and easy. Click on the My Show Planner icon on the IMTS.com homepage or within the mobile app to sign up and start planning. Don't miss your must-sees at IMTS. Start planning today with My Show Planner.
Festo Didactics aims to do more than just develop new technologies. They want to motivate, inspire, and enthuse the next generation of the manufacturing industry to attack the skills gap in North America. And one of the ways that they are doing so is with bionic animals. Jules McGuire spoke to Ted Rozier, who is the Director of Engineering at Festo, to find out more.
Hi, I'm Jules from IMTS TV. I'm here with Ted Rozier from Festo Didactic, and we're here to talk about some really cool bionic animals. Ted, what are these bionic animals?
Yeah, so this year Festo Didactic is looking to actually showcase our bionics. This is strictly a STEM initiative. The goal is to really get students into robotics. Students enjoy DIY kits, but this kit is a little bit different. Basically, students get an opportunity to program them. There's a tie wraps. It's a very nice assembly kit. In the end, they actually see the animals doing something. So you have different animals that we are mimicking. There is a elephant trunk. There's a chameleon. There's a fish that actually swims in a tank. All of this, we are seeing a lot of energy from students when they actually get a chance, again, assemble something, but then they learn how to actually program it as well.
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. So that hits engineering, but that also brings in manufacturing. Can you tell us a little bit more about why that's so important?
Well, we know that there is always, there's a skill gap in North America, and we are looking to attack it. In order to attack the skills gap, you definitely have to understand how to do it. Okay, that's exactly what the Bionics kit does. They get a chance to utilize tools, and it touches on the mechatronic side of things, but then it steps into the IT world. That's where we're starting to see, of course, digitalization is taking over. But we understand that there is still a skills gap, a hands-on. Bringing the two together with the Bionics kit allows that student to really see how to get into manufacturing, advanced manufacturing, but then there's a nice stepping stone into it.
Wow, that is fascinating. So how long does it take students from opening the box to having a fish that's swimming in an aquarium?
I would say, depending on the student and the amount of time that it takes him to just grasp a few instructions. I would say anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. So when does this become available for, I assume, teachers to buy kits?
Yes, this year at IMTS, we are actually piloting this initiative. And then 2019, the first quarter, we'll be looking to actually launch a program.
Okay, and so can they look for like the Festo Didactic site, or where else can they find that?
Yes, absolutely. They'll be able to go on festodidactic.org and you can definitely find the range of bionic kits.
What else do you want people to know about Festo Didactics, new upcoming products, and new efforts at IMTS?
The main things that we want everyone to understand about Festo Didactic is in automation, manufacturing, there's a turnkey approach. When you design robotics, machinery, you bring it all together and you turn it on. We provide a complete turnkey approach for education. So anything from K through 12, then community college to high school certification, all of this we try and bundle up into one package and make sure that we make it clear the step-by-step applications in order to make students thrive.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for your time. This has been Ted Rosier from Festo Didactic, and I'm Jules McGuire with IMTS TV.
Thank you for joining us for Good Morning IMTS on Day 4 of IMTS 2018, where dreamers and doers connect. Be sure to tune into IMTS TV online at imts.tv, where we are streaming around the clock and adding new content every day. And be sure to join us for the IMTS Report today at 4 o'clock p.m. when we speak with Steve Stokey, who is the owner of Allied Machine and Engineering Corporation, as well as the chairman of the board for AMT, the Association for Manufacturing Technology, about the future of manufacturing depends on a workforce. But first, coming up next is Shop Talk, where Bill Herman speaks with Christina Fuget about challenges and opportunities in mold making.
I'm Bill Herman for IMTS TV, and welcome back to another edition of Shop Talk. Our guest this morning is Christina Fuget, the editorial director for Mold Making Technology magazine. Christina, welcome.
Thank you, Bill.
And I guess congratulations are in order as Mold Making celebrates its 20th anniversary this year.
20 years.
So how did the magazine get started? Can you tell our viewers how?
Sure. First of all, I have to say it's been a really exciting year, kind of looking back on not just the industry's history, but the brand's history, and reconnecting with old industry colleagues and kind of reminiscing about, I don't know, the old days, really. It's only 20 years, but it's a milestone for a niche industry like this.
How many years have you been with the book?
I'm a founding partner of the publication.
Oh, high school
before
project.
It got sold. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Bill. But we also celebrated the 20th anniversary in our special April 2008 issue.
Okay.
So people can get that online to check out. Special features are in there. And we did a podcast series with me, the original founder of the magazine, and the current owner is Gardner Business Media. So it's kind of fun to look back.
Now, I cut you off a little bit. How did it get started?
So, well, in a nutshell, Joe Preshak is the current chairman of the board of the Plastech Group in Erie, Pennsylvania. So they're an injection molder, and he's a mold maker by trade. So he always wanted a magazine or something for mold makers to share, because there was nothing out there. Plenty of plastics magazines, but not mold making. So it was around 96, 97, now I'm dating myself. He and the late Gary Orff approached me to start a company and to start a magazine. And I had worked with both of them at a previous publishing company. And they grabbed two other women that I used to work with, and we started a company, and we started a magazine. So and from the ground up, it was very exciting, because it didn't take too long to realize that Joe was right. There was so much going on in this industry to share that they were kind of waiting for something to recognize their art, their craft, their business, and all the technology that wasn't there before. We spent about, I guess, the first couple weeks brainstorming, and I remember the first day I had a notebook full of just questions and notes, and then we shot over to the Plastech Group, got Mold Making 101, then we hit the road trying to sell the concept to technology suppliers to advertise and to kind of feel out mold builders, and here we are today. Now, in 2004, Gardner Business Media purchased the magazine, and we had a trade show too. It used to be called the Mold Making Expo, and now it's called AmeriMold.
Right,
So,
right.
and it's been thriving under Gardner's ownership because they've been able to take it to a whole other level.
What do you think makes it unique? I mean, lasting 20 years is, of course, an accomplishment, but you're more than that. You're the voice of the industry now.
And I would say that's got to be why it's lasted. I mean, not only have they, well, let's put it this way. As long as technology suppliers and mold builders are willing to share their expertise and knowledge with each other through us, it's going to keep going on because they need that. And it doesn't matter that technology and processes keep changing, it still needs to be covered. So and we are the only one.
Given the 20-year perspective that you have, what technology do you think has had the biggest impact on mold making in that time?
Oh my gosh, I knew you were going to ask that. That is, I mean, just to name one is almost ridiculous, right? I would have to say that data is like the game changer for mold making because, and maybe many manufacturers can say that, but it touches every aspect of what they do, right? So design, quoting, scheduling, part design, cavity design, machining, programming, you know, all the way through to maintenance. They are impacted by that, and now they're learning how to collect it, analyze it, and now, which I'm learning here at IMTS too, that whole portion of data is advancing where I think they're understanding what to do with it now, you know, so that would be the biggest. But there's also 5-axis machining, automation and robots, 3D printing, high-speed tooling. I mean, there's so many different, but I would say data is the big one.
And there'll be a great conference on that tomorrow. I don't know what your schedule's like, but Women in Big Data, that group is putting that on. That's going to be an excellent panel session. Ton of firepower on there. Now, we hear so much about culture in every office space. We hear so much about culture, and manufacturing is not excluded from that. What are you seeing in mold making shops in terms of the culture of their factories?
Culture is gigantic, and I can't see that going away anytime soon because I feel that's a really key strategy to finding, keeping the next generation. So if you think about it, a culture can be defined many ways, right? It can be an unconventional perk that I think nowadays is directed at this under 30 generation. So it's like no cost healthcare, access to a gym with a trainer, on-site meal programs. I'm seeing this in mold shops, right? And then there's the culture where it's more focused on, you know, leadership skills and really being immersed in that. Teaching them how to balance work and life is very important. Flexibility, open communication across, up and down and across all levels. You know, not being afraid to share ideas. So there's different ways that there's culture changing, and it's working because I would say the past 2 years I've seen in our little niche a number of under 30-year-olds, and not just like one in a shop. Like a bunch. You know, a handful of under 30-year-olds in these mold shops. So what they're doing is working. And there's A1 Tool, I'm going to name a few just to give a little shout out to them. A1 Tool, Westminster Tool, Franchino Mold, Ameritech, and actually I'm mentioning those because in October, Mold Making is doing our inaugural 30 under 30s honors program, and they're a few of the shops that are featured in them that have multiple 30-year-olds. So make sure to check that out in October.
That's encouraging. It's such a big initiative for everybody to identify their next gen.
Exactly.
How is a mold making shop different than a job shop, in your opinion?
All right, so according to me, I am probably
the expert,
would say they definitely have unique challenges from a job shop. So for example, a job shop generally focuses on a singular part that's like eventually married to components of a product. Whereas a mold builder is thinking about like very highly accurate, one of a kind part, which is the mold, but all the components within that mold. So they have to think of the big picture, right? Not just one aspect of it. They're making the whole thing. So again, that entails not just part design, but the cavity design, programming, machining, all the way through to inspection, measuring, validating, assembly, and trying out their product. They do it all. So that's close tolerance, tight tolerances, precision, accuracy. They need repeatable technologies, which of course we're seeing there's a myriad of that here for them. But in order to do that, they also have to have stellar project management skills, and they have to be good at planning. So it's all about the overall, not just a single part.
Interesting. You talked about their challenges. You referenced the show floor here at IMTS. Are you seeing some technologies that are specific to mold making as you walk around the floor?
Yeah, and actually prior to, I'm always checking out the show prior to because we are a niche, so this show can be overwhelming. So you want to provide the readers with a little bit of a target when they come to the show. Otherwise, oh my gosh.
Wandering in the desert.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I mean, 3D printing is big, and they're actually, my audience or our audience is now acknowledging that there's ways to use that within what they are doing. Even though it can be marketed as this toolless technology, they should be using that. The hybrid machines that are doing subtractive and additive. Takumi, I was over there yesterday at that booth, and they have, I think it's 3D Hybrid is the company, a 3D printer head that can go on any CNC machine and provide additive and subtractive. And it seems, I was talking to the gentleman, that it could be really good to be applied to mold repair, which is interesting. So that's a way to kind of make the mold builder understand the applications of 3D printing in their world. But a lot of 5-axis machining, automation with the robots, everything seems to me to kind of it's being extended. Like, things have been improved, things have been expanded, you know, in terms of that versus something new. Just like smart manufacturing, Industry 4.0, all those things are being advanced and taken to the next level at the show is what I'm seeing.
Very cool. Certainly a lot of buzz about additive, and a little bit of the knock in the past has been some of the speed issues, how that's working. Is that as much of an impact on mold making? It's not a production issue in mold making?
Right. Well, it could be. I mean, that could be what somebody is saying. Why, if you think about it, we could take it really far out to see what's going to happen with the technology, right? Our primary audience, you're talking high volume production molding, right? So you could debate that and have an argument about where you see that. But is 3D printing at a point where it's going to produce, you know, millions of parts as quickly as you can mold them? Not right now. But someday, who knows? Who knows?
Have you run into any of your readers here at the show?
Yes.
What are they looking for?
Yes, they are looking, well, it's funny, a couple of them I shadowed to kind of get to stand back and kind of watch the questions they're asking.
They didn't call security?
They didn't
you
call
were
security.
discreet?
I'm a stalker, right? It's the way we get leads. But yeah, they it's EDM, and there's been a few advances with EDM too. Additive manufacturing, they want to know what's going on with that, 5-axis machining, and lasers, whether it's for welding, engraving, or texturing. That is things that are coming here to specifically look at. And they're buying. I know a few shops that are here have been in kind of a holding pattern. So when they come here, they're not technically, they're, what do you call it, window shopping, but not this year. I know somebody bought an EDM machine yesterday.
The lasers is an interesting topic. Not as big of a component of this show traditionally. We do have, in fact, just today, the Laser Industry of America is hosting the Industrial Laser Conference here at IMTS.
There's a lot of conferences at this event.
There's some deep dive learning if you want it. Are you seeing more integration of the lasers into your shops?
In terms of on the mold repair side, yes. Yeah. So I would be interested to see. I haven't really gotten over there myself to see how they're using them, but definitely in repair, which is a big aspect of mold. It's engineering, building, and repair. And repair, maintenance and repair is huge.
I got a guy. I'll hook you up.
I got a guy. Everybody has a guy.
Now, okay, congratulations on 20 years. Where do you see the next 20 years going? Both for the magazine, for your industry?
The magazine, I just see us continuing to build a really strong community through content. So again, as long as they're willing to share, we're providing that. But you know what? It's not just print anymore. It's not just monthly. It is digital. It's online. It's podcasts, newsletters, webinars, trade shows, conferences. However they need it, we're going to provide it for them. And you know what's funny? I once, for the anniversary covers, I was reaching out to readers that have been with us for a while, kind of seeing what has been the impact of having a magazine on you and your industry, how you feel. And the greatest quote is that it legitimized my trade, is what they said. And I'm like, that is pretty cool for it to be even a little part of having somebody feel like, wow, we're not just lumped in with plastics. We're not just lumped in with metalworking. We can stand on our own. Do you want to hear some data about the industry? Because I recently, so the U.S. Census Bureau collects data on industrial mold manufacturing. So, and recently the publisher and I have been looking at the data. They are projecting, well, let's step back. So they take molds produced, imports and exports, okay? And from that data, they're projecting, or they value the market at $11 billion. And from here until 2020, the next 5 years, they are projecting, I think, an average 4.6% growth rate in mold manufacturing. So that's going to take it to about a little over $13 billion. And they've also reported on top of that, I think last year, people in that space have spent more than $119 million on machine tool accessories, and that includes cutting tools, like, you know, the Sandviks and the Secos and the Iscars, all those, and I guess the Walters, the Horns. There's so many that provide tools specific to mold making, and over $285 million on machines and equipment. So it really is like validating that this industry is one that the companies that build that equipment, whether it's EDM, milling, grinding, they should be marketing and selling to this marketplace. And I remember, I don't know, 2006, 2008, booths would be broken out, and one of the segments in a booth would be mold and die. And I'm starting to see that creep back in, which is good, which then again kind of supports the data that that's actually happening. It's something they should hone in, because sending something in or talking just specifically about 5-axis machining, it's different for a mold builder. They have different challenges, as I explained before.
Absolutely.
So it's nice to see technology suppliers acknowledging that and addressing them specifically.
Very cool. We've got about 1 minute left. If you could summarize, where do you see the industry going? Do you see any changes, fundamental changes in the industry?
Fundamental. That's a tough one.
Or do you think they'll just continue to evolve on their automation and their digitization?
And that's what I think. I think it's like any shop right now.
Yeah.
When they need to, they're different from a job shop, but they have those similar challenges, but they have to advance with automating, because it's the people issue, right? And not just that, to advance their processes and operations and to make better products, it's that. It's data and it's automation, and machining strategies are key. And software. Can't forget software. Can't forget software.
Well, cool. I'll look forward to seeing where it goes and to visiting with you again at every
Yeah,
show. It's
I
always
enjoy
good to
it
get
so
the
much.
update.
It is.
This has been Shop Talk, and our guest has been Christina Fugis, the editorial director for Mold Making Technology. For IMTS TV, I'm Bill Herman.